Baseball isn't just a Central Indiana. Wish TV is now live on YouTube TV and Hulu Live, offering more hours of local programming than any other station. Search for Wish TV or look for CW8 on both YouTube TV and Hulu Live to find us. Watch local news, sports, and lifestyle shows live from Wish TV. You can still catch Wish TV free over the air or stream it live on wishtv.com and on the free Wish TV mobile apps. Wish TV, available in more places for the latest news, weather, and sports. Game. It's a pursuit, a chase full of failure, resilience, and the moments that define who we become. From the All Indiana Podcast Network, this is Chasing the Game with Phil Sanchez. Real stories from real players and real coaches who refuse to quit.
Don't let high golf rates drive you out of bounds. Save big with the Wish TV Great Golf Club Card.
Central Indiana's largest golf club card membership is back for the 8th season with more courses than ever before. Save over 75% on tee times at 27 Central Indiana golf courses. All you need is the Wish TV Great Golf Club Card. Cards are valid for the entire 2026 golf season.
Great courses, great savings. Score your Great Golf Club Card today.
On this episode of Chasing the Game, we sit down with Dan Held, president of the Indiana Bulls, one of the premier travel baseball organizations in the Midwest. We talk about how the Bulls have built a reputation for developing players, what it takes to run a high-level program in today's travel baseball world, and how Indiana continues to produce elite talent year after year. This is Chasing the Game. All right, Dan, thanks so much for joining us.
No, absolutely. Thanks, Phil.
So before we get rolling, I want to read your baseball resume because I know you're far too humble to kind of bring it up yourself, so I will. All right, so on the St. Louis Cardinals coaching staff from 2002 to 2007, including when the Cardinals went to the World Series in 2006. Played in the Philadelphia Phillies and New York Mets organization 1993 to 2001. Coached at Indiana University for several years, and of course served as executive director of the Indiana Bulls for more than 10 years, now the president of the Bulls, and the list goes on and on and on. You, sir, have forgotten more about baseball than most of us have ever known. So, when I talk to people who have been in the game for so long like you are, my question is always, how do you stay so passionate about it? Because knowing you are extremely passionate about this sport that we love so much.
No, I appreciate you bringing all that up. Yeah, it's been a while, but I love being around the kids. I love to share my knowledge with the kids, and I love to help out our coaches. And just to watch our players have success and just see them enjoy the game like I used to enjoy it. I mean, that's what brings me around. And what's funny is I always talk about how I enjoy the younger ages, like the 8 through the 14s, almost more than the high school.
Yeah.
Because there's so much that they're learning and so many new experiences that they're going through, and there's not so much pressure of the college and all that of getting a scholarship. So that's what really brings me back is just being around these kids.
Although it's funny you say that because things have changed dramatically in travel baseball, right, Dan? I mean, obviously you've seen that over the years. What do you think are some of the biggest changes when it comes to the travel game?
Well, obviously at the high school level, it's the scholarships and the opportunities of players to get into college now with the whole transfer portal and the NIL and all that. So that's been the biggest difference and challenge, and it's the recruiting calendar has changed now. So to me, that's the biggest challenge that's going on with the travel baseball circuit.
Getting back to your background a little bit, you're from Wisconsin, right?
That is correct, Neosho, Wisconsin.
How'd you wind up here in Indiana?
Well, I was when I was with the St. Louis Cardinals. Scott was on the team as well, and Scott and I played together. Scott Rowland, that is. We played together all the way back in the minor leagues with the Phillies. And when I was with him with the Cardinals, he kept talking about this Indiana Bulls travel baseball team, which I had no idea about. And it just got to a point where I was looking forward to sort of transitioning out of professional baseball and starting something else in baseball. And he recommended the Indiana Bulls to me. Interviewed with him. Luckily, got the job, and it brought me to Indianapolis.
Yeah. Now your son is in his senior year of high school, right? What is his? He's going to go to Hanover.
Yeah, he's committed to go to Hanover. So we're excited about that. He's getting ready for his high school season at Bloomington South. So he's been working hard, and I'm looking forward to watching him.
Very cool. Very cool. You talked about Scott Rowland being one of the former Bulls players who went on to play professional ball, and there are so many of them, and some of them, like Scott's son, who's now playing in the organization. How is that, and how much do you lean on them when it comes to the future of the organization?
Yeah, the alumni that have been with the Indiana Bulls is just impressive. And the fact that we can get them to come back and contribute to the Indiana Bulls is a huge part of it. Scott and I coached together for like 8 years with our kids from 10 years to, just finished up this last year. And just the knowledge that they can provide, now we have Tucker Barnhart and Drew Storms getting back involved. So it's nice to get these guys that have played and been to the highest levels, and now they're giving back to the Indiana Bulls, and we couldn't be happier about it.
So the Bulls, obviously, one of the most successful travel organizations in the Midwest, if not the country. What separates the Bulls from everyone else? And when there are so many teams out there now, how do you stay competitive?
It's a great question, and there's a lot of pieces to it, to be honest with you. Number one, we have an amazing facility that we're able to work out in. We're huge partners with Bullpen Tournaments. So we're able to use Grand Park and obviously Pro X for our winter workouts. So that's a big piece, to have some place that we can actually play out of. And then it comes down to the coaches. I really believe that. At the younger age, it's get the guys that are really good baseball guys that do it the right way, and have kids that want to show up to the field and play. And we don't belittle them, and we treat them the right way. And we just direct those kids to play the game the right way. Everybody talks about development. And to me, the development, what we're trying to do is, how do you play the game? Mm-hmm. What do you run the ball out? Do you run on and off the field? Do you do the things the right way? Because everybody can talk about development, but development, what we try to concentrate is development of a person on the team. Because as a kid develops, he's going to need to go to other people to work on his swing, to work on his pitch mechanics, his fielding. So there's a lot of people that talk about development, but it's more than just the organization. It's really a lot of the pieces. And there's so many good people out there that work with these kids. So in the high school coaches do an excellent job. So I think the coaching, the development of all the players as well, I think that's what separates. And the last piece, honestly, is the connections that we have.
Yeah.
We've been around this thing since 1992. And I haven't been around that long, but they built a great organization, and we've been around. We've got coaches at the high school level that have been doing this for a long time, and they've got relationships with college coaches and professional scouts that we're able to get these kids connected with these colleges and with these scouts. On top of that, we're going to the right tournaments. So There's a lot of pieces to it that keep us at a good level in the travel baseball circuit.
Well, speak to that a little bit. What is the reputation out of Indiana, out of the Midwest? Do people, obviously everyone knows, if you're in this world, you know who the Indiana Bulls are. How strong of a reputation does the organization have outside of our region?
No, I think we have a wide reach. If you look at our college commitments from last year, there's a heck of a lot of kids that are going to the SEC, ACC schools. Yeah. So we have a wide range of connections that we have, and it all started with Dave Taylor, where he built this organization up from ground level. And like I said, the communication that we have with all these guys is outstanding, and the relationships that we have, and us being honest with all these college coaches, because if you're not honest with the college coaches, they're not going to trust you, and they'll not come and watch your kids.
Yeah. We should point out the majority of these travel programs are for profit. The Bulls remain a nonprofit. So how important is that? And also, in today's world, how do you do that?
Yeah, no, and it started way back when they wanted to be a nonprofit, and really just to showcase the kids from Indiana. Because at that time, kids from Indiana weren't really being seen. And it's all about the kids. We have a board of directors that they do a great job. I think that the ability for us to bounce ideas off one another, because we're just trying to do the best things for the family. We're not trying to make money here. We're not trying to build buildings and do all this stuff. We just want to do the best thing for the kids. So I think being a nonprofit and having pieces in place that can help the kids and try to keep our fees down is a big asset to us.
You mentioned about way back when players from Indiana weren't really being viewed as highly. That's totally switched, I would say, over the past 10 years and definitely the past 5. So I always say that Indiana is like a hotbed for baseball in the Midwest. Would you agree with that?
I think so, for sure, Phil. I think, like I talked about, I think the training has gotten so much better. There's a lot of good people out there training the kids, and they're just being seen more. And a lot of times they're raw.
Yeah.
So they don't have as many innings on their arm, when they're getting picked up. And I think that's a big thing when you're trying to project kids at the next level. So I think Indiana has really exploded with the baseball landscape.
I don't want to get too far into the weeds, but I do hear that a lot, where a lot of scouts and college recruiters and stuff always say, they look at kids that are from a cold weather state like Indiana a little bit differently than a kid that maybe is able to play year round. And that's a good thing, right?
Well, I think it is. And I think we have a lot of athletes that are multi-sport athletes. And I think that's a really nice thing to have, because number one is when you're a multi-sport athlete, obviously you're training different muscles, so you don't have fatigue. And I think another thing which people don't understand is you actually compete. Mm-hmm. You're competing in different sports all year round: basketball, football, baseball, soccer, tennis, whatever it is. You're actually competing, and that's a big piece of this game, is the competition. So if you're a one-sport athlete, you end up just sitting training, and you're really not competing with anybody. So I think those two pieces really go into play.
Yeah, no doubt. Away from the Bulls, Dan, and I appreciate you taking some time. You and Scott Rowland also run the E5 Campfire tournaments, and I know I did an article on that last year. It's down in Bloomington. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, you did. I appreciate that. We do a tournament which is like an all-inclusive event where it's sort of like a destination tournament. We have 4 log cabins on Scott's property in Bloomington down here. And we have 4 teams come in. They stay in a cabin. They get a jersey of one of the teams that Scott played for. And we play some baseball. And aside from that, the difference is yes, we play baseball. He's got a heck of a field, nice turf field. It's like in Field of Dreams where there's corn on the right side, right field line. But we have kids. They all bring their fishing poles. They're fishing, they're swimming, they're hiking, they're playing basketball. We do s'mores at night. We've got a game room. So it's an incredible experience, and we feed everybody. So it's like the parents can drop their kids off and go to the hotel or go home if they want.
I love it.
So we've had a lot of success, a lot of people that have enjoyed it, and we're looking forward to this summer as well.
When we're recording this podcast now, it's early March. We're about 2 weeks out from the travel season, about to get rolling. You and I were just talking about this before we came on. What's on tap for the Indiana Bulls this upcoming season? What can we expect before we let you go?
No, I expect just a great baseball, good environment for the kids to compete. And we're going to play at high level. We're going to play in really good tournaments, play some good competition, get out there, be seen at the younger ages, obviously, get out there and develop their skills and get better and better each year in the high school level. We're going to get on a platform to be seen by college and professional scouts, and in hopes that our kids, our guys can go on and enjoy this game as long as they can.
One more question for you, Dan, that just kind of hit me. Another thing that you and I were talking about earlier on was social media and content creation and all of that surrounding travel baseball. Are you surprised at how much that's kind of grown over the years?
I am, because I don't know anything about it. But it's a big piece of it now. It honestly is, because there's the college coaches are watching that stuff, and there's other people watching that as well. But that's a great way to promote yourself. It's a great way that we can promote our players. And it's one thing that can get somebody in trouble as well by posting the things that they shouldn't be posting or whatnot. But I think it's helping in the recruiting process. I really do. And it's exploding.
Dan Held, always good to talk to you, sir. Thank you so much for coming on.
Absolutely, Phil. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
This is Chasing the Game with Phil Sanchez. Be sure to like and subscribe to this podcast, and be sure to check out other great podcasts on the All Indiana Podcast Network, online at allindianapodcastnetwork.com.